emphasized the need for the opposition to unite on their stance regarding the dialogue. As Milia Kisianya reports, the divided Azimio leaders believe the opportunity for dialogue has long passed.
President William Ruto sets the pace to align with the demands raised by the Gen Z movement. The much-anticipated national dialogue set for next week faces significant hurdles. The multi-sectoral forum meeting, which aims to involve the opposition leaders, religious leaders and a group of youths, is already showing cracks. This division stems from the Gen Z faction, which remains adamant that they want no part in the dialogue, despite the opposition's purported agreement with the president.
Hakukuwa na nafasi wakati huo. Tulikuwa tumeongea na kinara wetu Mheshimiwa Raila, tukimaliza mambo ya kutilia saini IBC Amendment Act, basi tutafute namna, tutafute wakati mwingine ikiwa mazingira yatakuwa ya kuboresha mambo haya, tuyazungumze, tuone tuyazungumza kivipi. Lakini inaonekana nilipotoka kulikuwa msukumo fulani, nadhani hao Kenya Kwanza, msukumo fulani mpaka wakaleta hali ya kutatanisha kwa nchi.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, Azimio principal, has maintained a divided stance on the dialogue, stating it lacks clear intentions.
I repeat, the time for the African lion to arise is now.
Musyoka made these comments while meeting Pan-Africanist youthful leaders in Nairobi.
Nobody is averse to dialogue, but dialogue must be meaningful. You heard from the young student from Strathmore, Audrey, who says there should be preconditions before we go into dialogue. The preconditions they want to see are justice for Rex, justice for these people who are killed, and the people who brought about the death of these young Kenyans. They want to see action taken against them, taken to court, the police officers who are shooting people dead. They want to see action, right? So the immediate thing now is justice. Justice for the victims.
However, as the cracks within Azimio continue to create a stir, Azimio leader Raila Odinga appears to have given the go-ahead for the dialogue. The question remains whether he will pursue talks with his divided fellow principals.
I spoke to a coalition leader on my way here, the Honorable Raila Odinga, and I'm happy he's coming to talk to these young leaders. And one thing we're in agreement, in fact, he's waiting for me, because we need to be able to get a position of Azimio la Umoja one Kenya.
So far, Azimio principals who have distanced themselves from the dialogue include now Kenya leader Martha Karua, Eugene Wamalwa and Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni. The multi-sectoral forum is set to begin on Monday next week and is expected to conclude on Saturday of the same week. President Ruto emphasized the importance of the forum, stating that it will propose the way forward for the country. Milia Kisianya, K24 TV.
Now, Chief Justice Martha Koome has led the judiciary in mourning the death of High Court Judge David Majanja, who died yesterday evening while receiving treatment at a Nairobi hospital. Koome termed the late Majanja's death as a blow to the judiciary, terming him an important pillar, especially in the administration of justice to the public.
Reports of the passing away of High Court Judge David Majanja were received with shock, a cloud of mourning covering the judiciary, his family and friends. Led by Chief Justice Martha Koome, officials in the judiciary have mourned Judge Majanja, who at the time of his demise was serving at the Milimani Law Courts. Majanja, who was appointed as a High Court judge in 2011, had previously served at Homa Bay Law Courts, Migori, Kisumu and the Kisii High Court.
We have been privileged to witness his intense passion for the rule of law, for administering justice to all without fear and favor.
In his statement, President William Ruto mourned the late Judge Majanja as a courageous person who was dependable in the delivery of justice on different matters.
In 2012, where he held that the mandatory 30 days notice of intention to sue the government is a violation of the right to access to justice and amounts to unjustified limitation of a right within a democratic society.
The Law Society of Kenya, who had been working closely with the late Majanja, termed him as a person who was keen to follow justice as a principle of his work.
Majanja was, in fact, the first judge in the division to deal with interpretation of constitutionalism, the rule of law, and upholding the human rights.
He has done his job with a great passion, with a great humility, with the principles espoused for the service of delivery under the Kenyan Constitution. We mourn him, and that is the reason as to why Justice Majanja is being mourned by almost every stakeholder in the justice system.
The judiciary has said plans are underway for a memorial service as preparations to lay the late Majanja to rest have already started.
We will keep the public informed of the planned funeral arrangements so that we can provide friends, family, relatives an opportunity to wish and pay their last respects to our departed judge.
Alan Owino, K24.
All right, now time for that conversation here on K24 Evening Edition, trying to make sense of the events that have happened today. I just want to introduce my panel here. Seated next to me, of course, it's Eric Theuri, former President, LSK. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
Next to him is Gitonga Mukunji, who is Manyata Member of Parliament and also the Chair of Kenya Young Parliamentarians. Thank you so much for making time tonight. And of course, Frederick Okango, who is the Secretary of Political Affairs in the Azimio Coalition. I want to take a break, but let me just get your reactions first. 30 seconds each. The events of today, what do you make of that first?
Groundbreaking, I think, and probably giving us an opportunity to relook our political arrangement and how we can regain trust in the political leadership. Okay.
You lauded the president for his move today. What do you make of his move too?
Well, it actually helps us to regain the confidence that we need to run the government. And it is also a serious wake-up call to our leaders that you can go home anytime.
Okay.
And also it is an affirmation that the president did listen to the Gen Zs.
The people, the Gen Zs. Yes. So you come from a coalition that initially had problems with close to 5 cabinet secretaries during the vetting process. Let me say, when you look at this in the political arena, the president firing his entire cabinet, what do you make of that?
It was long overdue. It's coming too late. Good job, but long overdue. He has more that he has to do to win the confidence of the people. The people that he has fired today ought to have gone home, if you ask me, in their first 100 days in office.
Okay. All right, more to come, especially on this conversation on what exactly this means moving forward. We'll be getting into the details of this conversation when we come from this particular break.